of runners and riders. The favourite heads them. Will Willie Mullins pick up where he left off yesterday? Back in focus for his son Patrick, 9-4 favourite. Buddy Bolero has been a strong fancy for this for a long time. You heard from jockey Jamie Codd. Godsmejudge for our morning line guest Nico de Boinville. Highland Lodge won here on trials day and will be an interesting outsider for Emma Lavelle. Her horse is not in great form. Rival d'Estraval's been laid out for this for many months, as you heard jockey Derek O'Connor saying. Pauline Robson would be a big win for her small yard. David O'Meara quietly fancies his Rose of the Moon, the mount of Tom Greenall, and they read down to Top Smart. Seamus Mullins trains the 66-1 outsider. Soft, good to soft in places. The official going on the steeplechase course. Cracking betting heat to kick off with Tanya.
Yes, and to give you some idea, Nick, of the sort of bets being laid back in...
Afternoon, everybody, and the runners will shortly be called out onto the course.
Steady, boys, steady. Okay.
And they're away, racing with Highland Lodge, one of the first to begin. Also present to you on the near side. And Tofino Bay is out wide. Hawke's Point is handy as well as they landed over the first fence. And out in the centre of the course for this opener. And Tofino Bay on the near side is Highland Lodge, then Hawke's Point and Rose of the Moon. And close up is back in focus in the black and beige jacket. Out wide is Heath Yard's Flyer as they go on towards the third fence. Coming in to take this one, Highland Lodge is going to pick up in front here. As they go round the bottom turn. At the back of the field is Rival d'Estraval, and towards the rear, also in a light blue jacket, is Drawn and Drank. Bit of a run to the next, Highland Lodge from Tofino Bay. The grey is Rose of the Moon, and then back in focus out wide with Heath Yard's Flyer. Back on the inside in the green jacket is Present to You, followed by Godsmejudge and Hawke's Point. Scampy Boy towards the outside of the field with Emperor's Choice up the inside. And then towards the back, Our Island, Rival d'Estraval, Sacred Mountain also towards the rear as they land over the next. And then further back is Top Smart. And now they make their way towards another plain fence. There is Back in Focus in the hands of Patrick Mullins as they landed over the next, and slightly detached at the back is Drawn and Drank. On now to the next couple of plain fences, fences 6 and 7. And it's Highland Lodge with Tofino Bay on the outside. In behind them, Godsmejudge and Rose of the Moon, and then back in focus, Scampy Boy. Buddy Bolero in a yellow sleeve jacket is just chasing the leading group as they landed over that one, and now on to the next with a couple of circuits ahead of them. And drawing towards this one, Highland Lodge, good jump on the inside of Tofino Bay. Then out wide is Back in Focus. Godsmejudge is fourth, and then Scampy Boy in fifth from Rose of the Moon. Present to You and Heath Yard's Flyer out wide of Buddy Bolero. Then Our Island, Hawke's Point and Emperor's Choice. And towards the rear, Top Smart with Rival d'Estraval, Sacred Mountain and Drawn and Drank. Over the next, so they make their way towards the back straight for the first time. Drawn and Drank was very careful in last place there. Took a long time to get from A to B as they head down the back straight. And Highland Lodge on the near side, maroon jacketed Tofino Bay and Nina Carberry. Back in focus, very handy. Very early days in this 4-miler. Godsmejudge gave that plenty of air in fourth place. Little nod at the back from Rival d'Estraval, Derek O'Connor's mount in the light green jacket. Tofino Bay from Highland Lodge and Back in focus as they near the next, the water jump. Godsmejudge landing in fourth, Rose of the Moon, and then Scampy Boy, Buddy Bolero. And then behind these is Our Island with Heath Yard's Flyer on the outside of Top Smart, and then Hawke's Point some way back at this stage as they jump the next. And the leader safely over. Rose of the Moon just possibly dragged the hind legs through that slightly. Didn't lose too much ground though. Tofino Bay from Back in Focus and Highland Lodge as they clear the next. Godsmejudge was over in fourth place. A blunder from Emperor's Choice in the rear division and gets shaken up on landing. Drawn and Drank is pushed along at the back. Second last is Sacred Mountain. Racing up the hill towards this open ditch. and Tofino Bay on the outside of Highland Lodge, and Tofino Bay stood a long way off that and had to really reach for it, but got to the other side just from Highland Lodge. Then back in focus on the outside, travelling very strongly, followed by Godsmejudge and then Scampy Boy. Further back is Buddy Bolero from Rose of the Moon and Our Island, as they now prepare to run downhill towards the next plain fence. In the midfield, Rieval d'Estrevaux, that light green jacket with the yellow sash, close up with Top Smart. Heath Yar's Flyers pushed along. Hawke's Point in the red and white jacket, still well back from Present to You, and then Sacred Mountain, Emperor's Choice, and Drawn and Drank. Over the next plain fence, Tofino Bay was the first to rise from Highland Lodge there, and just about, yeah, they're all still standing here as they draw towards the home straight with still well over a circuit ahead of them. Tofino Bay on the left, Highland Lodge on the right. Further left, the extreme left, right there still is back in focus. Scampy Boy is close up with Rose of the Moon and Godsmejudge. Present to You round the inside as they swing this left-hand turn. This next plain fence comes quite quickly after the turn. It can catch a horse out as they go towards it. Highland Lodge from Tofino Bay. Both jump it in exemplary fashion there. Little nod from Top Smart back in the field. Drawn and Drank getting further and further behind. Over the next, this will be the last after another circuit in this John Oaksey National Hunt Chase. And up ahead, it's still Highland Lodge on the inside of Tofino Bay. They've been first and second throughout the race so far, swapping the lead. Back in focus out wide of Godsmejudge, they're third and fourth. Then Scampy Boy from Our Island. Buddy Bolero up the inside of Rose of the Moon, then Top Smart and Rieval d'Estrevaux. Hawke's Point is next in the field from Emperor's Choice, Present to You, Sacred Mountain, and then right out the back, Heath Yar's Flyer, and last of all is Drawn and Drank, who's still going. On down the back straight, Nina Carberry on Tofino Bay. Having a very good round here, Nina, on this sound-jumping 10-year-old Tofino Bay. Again, very clean there. And Scampy Boy is gone. The first casualty in the race hampers Rose of the Moon. Scampy Boy and Jack Sherwood out of the race. Tofino Bay on the outside of Highland Lodge as they go towards the water jump, followed by Godsmejudge. The others streaming over, Present to You towards the rear with Sacred Mountain. Drawn and Drank is still continuing, but a very long last as now the leaders jump this next open ditch. Tofino Bay fiddled over that one as they cleared it. Rose of the Moon, another mistake further back in the field. On to the next plain fence. Tofino Bay from Highland Lodge. Once again, they rise nearly together. Godsmejudge was over in third place, then back in focus. Rose of the Moon has been pulled up. Out wide is Our Island, still in touch with Rieval d'Estrevaux and Buddy Bolero. Hawke's Point is pushed along to try and get closer, and then Top Smart. They run towards this next open ditch. This is 4 out. Tofino Bay, another really bold jump there. Very slow Our Island. Top Smart was a faller. It's Tofino Bay and Highland Lodge 1 and 2. Back in focus, still going along nicely on the outside of Godsmejudge. They're sharing third place at this stage at the top of the hill, followed by Rieval d'Estrevaux, Buddy Bolero and Our Island. Hawke's Point under strong pressure behind those, and now they're on the descent towards 3 out. And up ahead is still these two, Highland Lodge and Tofino Bay. Back in focus, close up in third place. Godsmejudge just being pushed along now. Rieval d'Estrevaux and Derek O'Connor coming there strongly. Buddy Bolero is behind these to the outside, followed by Our Island. Tofino Bay, Highland Lodge hit that pretty hard. They're followed by back in focus now, just being pushed up to try and challenge these front two, with Rieval d'Estrevaux waiting between the horses. After these then is Godsmejudge as they race towards the final turn, as they now draw towards the end of 4 wearying miles, and Rieval d'Estrevaux is coming through to head Highland Lodge and challenging Tofino Bay as they swing the final corner. It's Tofino Bay and Rieval d'Estrevaux. Back in focus is back in third at the second last, and Tofino Bay and Rieval d'Estrevaux has gone. Rieval d'Estrevaux in second on landing, might have been getting the worst of it, and Tofino Bay and Nina Carberry left clear of in second place. Back in focus, who's a grinder, he'll come up the hill. Tofino Bay's been in front a long time. Back in focus is trying to wear the leader down. Tofino Bay is shortening his stride, and back in focus is charging at him, and he'll get there. Back in focus is going to get up. Tofino Bay, nothing left to offer, and back in focus, wore down Tofino Bay. Another win at Cheltenham for Patrick Mullins. The Mullins family are on fire. Buddy Bolero and Godsmejudge fighting it out for third. Then Our Island, a long gap then Back to Highland Lodge, who made a bad mistake and then faded. Emperor's Choice and Present to You. Back in focus, has pulled it out of the fire here in the hands of Patrick Mullins. Willie Mullins is 4th winner at the meeting. What a thrilling finish. Your heart goes out for Nina Carberry aboard the runner-up Tofino Bay.
Well, that was a victory for stamina and for perseverance from horse and jockey, because it looked all the way to the last and for most of the run to the line as if Nina Carberry was going to hang on Tofino Bay. But Back in Focus kept plugging on and eventually coming up that hill. My word, how the race changed shape. Look how much ground Back in Focus has to make up here. And Nina Carberry gets collared on the line by Patrick Mullins, whose wins before had come in the champion bumper. This his first one over fences. And Willie Mullins, his father, has now trained 4 winners at this year's festival. But what a finish this was, and those that had backed the favourite were starting to roar him home. That must have helped as well, but the hill it was that made the difference. And let's hear from Patrick Mullins, the man on board. He's with Rishi now.
Huge congratulations, Patrick. At what point did you think you were going to get there?
I thought he made a bad mistake to ditch up the back, and I just had to sit and suffer a bit while the others went away from me. I thought the best I'd be was second when Derek fell, but just before the last, this fella just started to get going again. You know, he just stays all day. He's a brave, tough horse.
And this Mullins success continues.
Yes, but I mean, to be fair, there's a French girl in the yard, Virginie Basco, who's done some fantastic work with this horse. I have no doubt without her he wouldn't be here.
Congratulations. Great start to the day again for the family.
Thanks very much.